I belong to Upper Dublin Monthly Meeting. The Quakers. It's a religious society of friends in Maple Glen, Pennsylvania. And that's out in Montgomery County, if you're not aware of that. Cross streets is Meeting House Road and Fort Washington Avenue in Maple Glen. And I became a member there, and I learned a lot of things about the Underground Railroad. I learned about the Quakers and the Friends part in the Underground Railroad. But most of all, I became really fascinated with the courageous heroes and heroines that were the African American people that resisted slavery and ran away to Canada or up to the northern states. So I've made a little bit of notes so you viewers would understand what I'm trying to tell you. Share it with you, because I'm really happy to be able to share this with you. It was a family of people called the Atkinson, Hannah and Thomas Atkinson. They had a farm back in the 1800s. Their farm house was called the Cherry Lane Farm, and from that farmhouse they ran an Underground Railroad station from 1852 to 1864, 12 years. And they put everything on the line by doing that, because if they had got caught, the government would have took away their money and threw them in jail, and they would really been penalized for helping my ancestors become free people. And I'm really proud to find out more about them. And they also buried in the cemetery along with the people that they helped get to freedom. We don't know. At that time, you couldn't have stuff written down because it was against the law. How many people are buried in the cemetery? Could be 200 or 2. We don't know, but we definitely know that they are there. The Cherry Lane Farm is adjacent to the meeting house, right next door to it. So when the enslaved person came from Norristown down to Maple Glen to the Cherry Lane Farm, and Hannah and them, one of them would die. Hannah and them would have them buried in the meeting house graveyard at the dead of night, because if they got caught, they would got in trouble. And so for 12 years they did that. So you can imagine how many people are there, but we know that they are there. From all that time to now, that place has been left open, and it's a sacred place to me right now. And I hope that you get a chance to come out and see it, come out and visit it. It's really nice out there. The Upper Dublin Underground Railroad Station was on the northern route. There was a lot of different routes to get to Canada, or some went down to Florida and the Caribbean. Some went down to like out west, and a lot went to Canada. And this particular station was on the northern route. I learned that. I didn't learn it in school. I'm lived and born and raised in Upper Dublin. That's where I went to school at, and still live here. This house that we in is a house that my father built after coming out of World War II, and took him a year to build it with his own hands. So yes, I'm a North Hills resident. The Cherry Lane Farm that was the Underground Railroad Station right now is still occupied. It's the Upper Dublin School District Administration offices. And you can take a tour of the building and see the hidden places where the enslaved people were kept. You can see some of the artifacts that was left behind from that era and time. and it's worthwhile going there, and then you could just come right next door and come to our meeting house and see the memorial stone, the memorial marker that is there for them, and learn a little bit more about history. I'm very happy that I learned a lot about my history, and that I got the historical marker so that everybody can know at this place, these where some of my ancestors are interred.